Many different kinds of stands exist in the JoJo multiverse, which with this comes many different ways that stands get unlocked, because not all stands are unlocked the same way. Now, I was thinking to myself, what would probably be the best way to get a stand? Like, what's the best method of unlocking it? And well, I did a little bit of research, and this is what I've come to. So I've organized and created this list of which is the best way, based on which stands are made through each potential way. So with that I ask, what's the best way to get a stand? Though, speaking of potential, we should start with the most potentialist losers of this group on how to attain a stand, and that's to obtain one of Pucci's stand discs. Because it's not one of your own natural stands, and the stand has no natural need to protect you, some of the examples being Highway to Hell and Planet Waves. These stands actively attack their users. I mean, Planet Waves doesn't actually succeed on attacking the user, but Highway to Hell is only useful if you're suicidal. So these stands are Pucci stand discs. I think most of the villains in Part 6 are stand disc users, except for the Dio's kids later on. And I think that fairly puts the Pucci stand disc stands at the lowest of low when it comes to stands, because they're hand-me-down stands. Next on the list, and this is going to be a controversial one, is Devil Palm stands. Now the reason I put them so low is because the Devil Palm is actually powerful. It's the meteorite crash site of the Steel Ball Run universe. It's where the corpse parts are. There's about 9 of them, and people who go through them end up dying usually. But the thing about the Devil Palm stands is that they're corpse part rejects. You have Oh Lonesome Me and Mandem. Neither of them are corpse part stands. They were founded, or they obtained these stands in the Devil's Palm, but the Devil's Palm is a corpse part holder, so if it views you as, worthy enough, it will give you a corpse part and a stand. But these people were rejected by the Devil's Palm and rejected by the corpse parts, so they're on a lower tier level. And also, they're very specific, specifically Mandem, where Mandem only rewinds specifically 6 seconds. It can be used by anyone, really. It's like a sickly man is using it, but it's still only specifically 6 seconds. It has no form of attack, and you also have Oh Lonesome Me, which is literally just rope. It's really cool, but it's also just rope. Now next up, we have Arrow Wound stands, or stands brought out by the regular stand arrow. These being Stone Free and Echoes, and many stands throughout Part 4, 5, and most of Part 3. I believe all of those are either natural or stand arrow stands. And these are like the medium tier, they're pretty average, honestly. And most people, since their introduction, have gotten them, and they've become a lot more powerful. They've gotten a ton of different types of stands in them, but they are still kind of average in comparison to what's further to come. Though some might argue that Stone Free isn't a arrow wound stand, it's a natural or a inherited stand. And I would disagree, because Jolene specifically pricks her finger and then she gets the stand. I think that further shows that this is where the stand comes from. I know it doesn't make much sense, because genetically inheriting stands is supposed to be a thing that happens in JoJo. And honestly, speaking of that, let's get into inherited stands. Some of those being like Crazy Diamond and Star Platinum. I don't count Joseph's Hermit Purple as an inherited stand, because nowhere does it state that he gets it specifically from Dio being pricked with the arrow. It does say that Jotaro and Holly get it because of Dio getting hit with the arrow, but I believe that Joseph has had Hermit Purple for a while, because he's able to find Avdol, he's able to learn more about stands as things go on. He's even trained a little bit in Hermit Purple. Because of its low developmental potential, it shows that Joseph has a fine understanding of Hermit Purple. So I believe that Hermit Purple is more of a natural stand for Joseph that he unlocked all the way through because of his hormone training, because he's so naturally gifted with hormone, and Hermit Purple is the hormone stand. Though, honestly, inherited stands seem to be really okay on the surface, but have a lot of hidden potential within them, as Jotaro has his time stop, and Josuke has his insane speed healing ability. Like, Crazy Diamond is actually an amazingly powerful stand. You also have things like Giorno and his Gold Experience, which is an inherited stand and has such hidden potential that it seems to gain more abilities as the story progresses. Though some of the only stands that I feel beat out inherited stands are natural stands. Stands that are given to you from birth, or stands that you unlock through your own sheer willpower. You have Rohan and his Heaven's Door, you have Tonio and his Pearl Jam, and you have Polnareff and his Silver Chariot. These are all stands that are developed through your sheer force of will, or you're born with them. I mean, Polnareff had years of training with his Silver Chariot, and that's how it got so powerful as it is today. Tonio was working super hard to find a cure for cancer, and Rohan is struggling to become the best mangaka, and he's had it since he was like 17. And all these stands have super intense abilities. You have Polnareff, one of the few stands in the entire series that has a stand that when it takes damage, it doesn't affect the user, but he can't see through it. You have Rohan and his ability to rewrite reality in some senses, and Tonio and his ability to cure literally anything given the right materials. These are incredibly powerful stands given their own right, and only like a few things outmatch them. One of these things being a stand given to you when you pierce yourself with the Requiem arrow and not just the regular stand arrow. Not piercing your stand with the Requiem arrow and gaining a Requiem stand, but piercing yourself with the arrow. This happens once in the series and it gives 2 people stands. And that's when Enrico Pucci is stabbed with the Requiem arrow, and he gains his stand Whitesnake, and Weather Report, or West Blue Marine, gains Weather Report. Pucci's Whitesnake is so unmatched in the JoJo universe that it's its own category on this list. It has the ability to steal and give stands to people. It's unmatched, it's terrifying. It's a great villain stand, and as it evolved throughout the run of Part 6, it's one of the best parts of Part 6, and this is coming from me, a guy who hates Part 6. And Weather Report is full of infinite possibilities. With infinite possible weather outcomes, he can manipulate even bullshit weather outcomes, such as raining frogs or fire tornadoes, like things that only happen like on very rare occasions he can recreate with the snap of his fingers. These are unmatched, unrivalable stands. Like, the only way you go past this is you need to get an even stronger potential power. And the only thing with that much potential are the Holy Corpse parts. And the corpse parts are a very sought after item in Steel Ball Run because of the abilities that they grant. There's only a few stands in the series that are actually corpse part stands, and some of them being Tusk and D4C. And these stands only get more powerful the more corpse parts they have near them. D4C evolves to such a level in which it is theoretically invincible, and only through Johnny and Tusk's growth together can it be defeated. Though, there is one more kind of stand gaining possibility, and that is through stand evolution. And what I mean by this is not just the Requiem arrow. Made in Heaven, Silver Chariot Requiem, and Gold Experience Requiem are quite possibly the strongest stands in JoJo, and they're all acquired through some form of stand evolution. You can't get these stands by themselves. You need to actually work to unlock these kinds of stands. And I know Echo's Act 3 is also an evolved stand, but it's also brought on through the arrow, and I don't really count it in this category because it gains really weird powers as it grows, and it doesn't feel like it fits. It almost feels like it wasn't complete, and that's why it has these acts. Also, Echoes is a 3-act song, so that's kind of what Araki was going for. But yeah, that is my list. I feel that corpse parts are the best natural way of obtaining a stand, and the evolved stands are always going to be the strongest forms of stands. I mean, all stands evolve at one point, but these are like fully evolved, different being stands. Hell, Sea Moon was also a big upgrade. So yeah, that's the video right there. I feel like this is the correct order. If you have a different order, feel free to comment below or tell me why you think it's that specific order. I mean, if I completely forgot a category of stands, that'd be a little silly. Oh wait, there is something. Maybe I forgot it because it feels like Araki's forgotten it too. But this could potentially be a stronger form of stand gain, and that's the bite marks from JoJo Leon. The JoJo Leon bite marks have heralded 3 stands so far, at least 3 that we know of, and that's Soft and Wet, one of the most broken stands possible, Nut King Call, I did an entire video on that, and then Paisley Parks, which is still so confusing that most people don't understand how it works, and no one understood how it works for about 5 years. Are those bite mark stands ever going to come up again? Are we ever going to see any more about that bite mark? See, that's something we want to tune in for, because I might be completely blown away by what these bite mark stands are possible. So yes, if you like this video, feel free to give it a like, and if you want to tell me something, feel free to comment below. If you want to give me money, that'd be really nice. Money is really good. You can give it to me at patreon.com/MediNotTheBadGuy. And have a lovely fucking day.